four-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no!
Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my God! When does this happen? Everybody's dead.
G'day, and welcome to an Nexus Gaming Series cast. I was sick this morning, which is why I'm here now, because, man, I had a migraine this morning. I had just a whole bunch of issues going on, and even now I'm like, should I be doing this? I don't know. But yeah, here we are. I am your host, V Lime Bus, and today we have a Division E East game. We have seed number 1 of Infernal Misfits facing off against the seed number 8 of 36. Really? It's low? It's low? Is that better? I hope it is, because that's starting to peak in orange. Do you just have everything turned down, Mr. Born to Shine? Unless there are others who are also thinking it's low. Anyway, this should be a good series. Last time they met up, it was a 2-0 to the side of It is really quiet, huh? Interesting that I've done nothing different, and it is suddenly quieter. Hopefully that's better? I don't know, I've turned it up a little bit and hoping that's adjusted correctly. Anyone say whether it's good or not. Oh, let's turn this. Hopefully that's better in general. I am also just quieter today. If I sit up properly and actually get in the right position, maybe it works out better for me. I don't know. I'm just going to type in here that we are ready as well. Just so everyone... Okay, cool. Welcome, Dyer. Hope you're doing well. I hope everyone's doing well, both Mr. Bourne and Preston Pat as well. But yeah, Cursed Hollow. I don't know if these teams actually met up on this map last time. I imagine that 30 Seconds to Mosh will want to avoid the map if they had gone to it. Yeah, it looks like this map was not played. So it should be a good series to say the least. Wow, I really do need... Let's just pull my chair in a bit. And that should actually fix my sound issues I'm having. And hopefully this is much better. Okay, a bit better. Yeah, I don't want to pick it up too much because I can see it's getting near peaking and I don't really want to make it peak per se. So I guess it may just be a little bit quiet because I'm not really in a good enough state to talk louder. But it looks like we are just waiting on one of the teams still. Yeah, I can't do too much more without making mic peak, so I guess I'll have to look into that at a later point. And we'll figure it out from there. Probably didn't help us yelling into this mic the other day, but we'll have to see. I don't think that would affect it too much. We'll see if we can find out. Cool. Excellent to know. Cool, I don't know what abbreviations is, but I think everyone's ready now. So we'll be beginning this series in a few moments. As the team of Infernal Misfits were the team that was, I said ready a while ago. Oh. They asked me if I was ready and then went anyway. So yeah, as I say, Infernal Misfits, they went first pick because they had the choice of 50 Seconds to Mosh, map pit, map ban. We see Braxis and not Cursed Hollow, but Towers of Doom banned out by them. Infernal Misfits banned out Ultirac and Battlefield of Eternity, leading us to a first pick of Cursed Hollow, a map they didn't play last week. But let me swap into the game so we can actually see the draft itself. Also, it's a nice hot summer's day, so I'm also having a nice cold beer. And if anyone wants to drink, they're also welcome to. Provided you're, like, old enough to drink, I guess. I forget that America is a little bit older than here in terms of a drinking age. I think, it's 21 as opposed to 18? Anyway, we have both the Stukov band and Alarak band. Alarak band's definitely interesting. I would guess that there is some Alarak main on Infernal Misfits. I haven't really checked the teams yet. That's kind of taking its time in the background. But we do then also see Sonya and Kel'Thuzad banned out. We're getting very specific bans here from... 36 to Mosh. Well, I guess Infernal Misfits do have very specific bans as well. I'd assume it is definitely a bit more general. And a first pick Kerrigan is an interesting one to say the least. I suppose they must have someone who just likes melee assassin. Joanna picked up and Brightwing. Yep, two very good heroes. Yeah, it is 21. I thought so. Two very good generals healers, doesn't really reveal anything. Meanwhile, Kerrigan, you're already revealing that your team is inherently a bit more all-in. Hogger as well, kind of dealing with it as well, but I imagine we'd see something like an Anubarak picked up, and if not, I'd imagine we'd see it banned. Or Diablo. I can actually check this now. They do like Anubarak, and I imagine that will be a Smash variant. They haven't actually played variant this... Oh, they have played a few games of variant this season. What type of variant is it? Oh, no, they typically play... Oh, they have Hoggy. Yeah, it's probably going to be a Taunt variant, which makes sense. Lone Wolf is not their tank player, actually. Lone Wolf is their offlane, is one of their ranged assassins, typically. But yeah. Oh, Lucio banned out. Yep, fair enough. You want to get rid of a Rushdown. That's a pretty good one to do so. Meanwhile, 30 seconds to Mosh. We don't really know what they're planning so far. Maybe we see some weird offlane shenanigans, like a double bruiser or some type of strong pusher. And yeah, I'm hoping to see a good match, otherwise it would... Oh no, I like picking things up anyway. Get better on the mic, get better with my talking, and we'll see where that goes. And Leoric's banned out. Yeah, they're really getting rid of a lot of offlaners. I don't think Raka is feeling too happy about that currently. Probably Taunt variant, you reckon? Yeah. Yeah, there's always the chance they swap things around, so it makes sense. But I guess we'll have to see where that goes. Because we do have Jaina coming in and Greymane, so we're not going any form of like weird double off lane. We are just going a more standard composition for 30 seconds to Mosh. And I will have predictions going once we get into the kind of screen, I don't know, transition screen that I do between matches. Which, speaking of which, I should prep that now. And then we have Junkrat and so yep, very likely Taunt variant then, and we're probably going to see Anduin variant swap a few little wholesale swaps there. And we see Rexar rounding out the compositions, which I like Rexar. Rexar is a fun one. He can struggle a little bit at times. Hogger is something that can be a little bit of hassle, so it will very much, that one will be a skill matchup, but Rexar inherently does make everything a skill matchup. Junkrat, very good at stalling. I will be interested to see where this goes. But I will roll those pre-credits. I'll start a prediction in the meantime, and I'll see you guys on the... basically, as soon as we're in the game, hopefully.
Oh, a swap. Oh, no, but a swap followed by a light bomb.
Four-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh, no.
Oh, here's Light Bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man Light Bomb. They're going to follow up, and they're going to get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's going to be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead.
That is pretty close to as good as timing as I can get. It wasn't quite there in time, but we are in the game now. My mouse is obviously off the screen as we're drifting, as I'm making one last little message to someone before I forget. But predictions are up. We are in now. And on the side of 30 seconds to Mosh, because apparently that's where my camera decided to start, we have Moby 1 on the Joanna, Born to Shine on Brightwing, Sub-Zero on the Greymane, the Captain on Jaina, which I think I said, and Raka on Rexar. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, we have Skills 912 on the Kerrigan, Wygon on the Junkrat, Lone Wolf Varian, Jody Immortal on the Anduin, and, oh my god, there's such a tight, like, thing. Nate Faniel on the Hogger, and who have I not mentioned? Wygon on the Junkrat, I believe? He was indeed. I also like the, Alright, nope, I see it. I believe it was you, wasn't it? But yeah, we can see that the 30 seconds of Mosh are just going to be quickly clearing mid and disappearing. You can hear the trap hitting a minion, but really nothing going to be found from that. Raka is going to take the long way around to get to top safely. Meanwhile, we do see Jaina and Joe already double rotating bottom. No, the captain will be staying bot while... Oh, that's why. Joanna is currently being forced back out downwards, but will eventually mosey on their way up now. Well, Lone Wolf was looking to catch someone out, but no, they went a little bit too safe for it to be caught out. And of course, it is Varian. You don't necessarily have a way of stopping anyone a while. This is not going to be the easiest matchup for Jaina. She doesn't sincerely want to step too far up. And fortunately, she is not going for the Globe Quest, so she'll be pretty safe there. Meanwhile, we can see both Bruiser camps are being started. A little bit of Siege being missed out mid. Soak will be missed out mid for Infernal Misfits, depending... Well, they got it done now. Well, we'll take a little bit longer for 30 seconds of Mosh to get through their camp. Meanwhile, Moby1 is being rotated up upon. See, Lone Wolf is there. Junkrat throwing a little bit of Qs at him. But no, we do see that Moby1 just does back out. And we'll be left to deal with this cap, but I imagine we're going to get an aggressive invade. Sub-Zero should see it. Does need to back out. We see Lone Wolf going on in, and they need to just fall back. That's 4 people coming at them. Combo coming out from Kerrigan. Hits for grab, hits for W, but there is no kill on them. We can now see that this is not the best place for the side of Infernal Misfits, as Lone Wolf is actually out of position. Nice pull by Anduin. Trap hitting Vagina. Moby1 trying to get on top of him. And no, that is Infernal Misfits getting out. But that was a lot of time wasted almost, where we did see that there was a little bit of soak disappearing for both teams. And the camp did eventually go over to 36 to Mosh. So now they're a little bit later on that, but they did at least get their own camp. Both teams got all their own camps. 4's now through. There's the Taunt Varian. We do see Junkrat throwing a mine in, but it will take him a little bit longer to clear this. Greymane considering going down. Jaina gets dove on by Skills, just backpedaling, and actually gets to live on barely 100 health, having to half. Meanwhile, we can see a little bit of tussling coming out top. Lone Wolf take a little bit of damage, a little bit of stun action from Moby1, but nothing too bad happening to them there. Right, let me close this for now. We'll go over talents in a little bit when it calms down. But we are having objective up. Born to Shine is the objective. That gets Varian out. He doesn't quite give a taunt off. Instead is polymorphed. But I guess Wiregon is only just here now. So there was no point taunting that early on. Right, Sub-Zero steps up. We're just even clearing Siege Camp. Kerrigan is still bottom. They're a little bit off. Phase Shift coming out early onto Raka. The Bear getting a nice stun onto Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf taking a decent amount of damage. Captain, a little bit of a duel with Nathaniel up top. Moby1 getting a nice free-man hit, but no, taunted under the towers, having to back out. Raka is trying to get the objective. Kerrigan doesn't quite get on top of her in time, and that is the first objective, going over to the side of 30 seconds to Mosh. You know, Raka's like, actually, guys, there's a lot of people up here still. Maybe I'm just going to hold back here, play safe. But no, we do see Moby1 will back for health / mana. Meanwhile, we do see the rest of the team clearing, and Jaina is beelining bottom. Maybe if Kerrigan was there a little bit earlier, it would have gone out better for them, but nope. Kerrigan was there late, and by that point, it was just the side of Infernal Misfits, forced out a little bit and just that little bit lower. Anyway, let me have a look at talents now that we have these 7s coming through for both teams. In terms of quests, we have Kerrigan going... Is that Ravenous Hunger? No, Sharpened Blades on the level 4. 20 stacks through already. You're doing pretty well if you're Kerrigan. You're pretty happy with that stack rate. Because once it hits that 75, yep, 75, that does a lot of damage. Junkrat going Q build, and when that piercing E with the piercing light, what is this called? Taste for Explosion Junkrat, and Lion's more Variant, already getting quite far through there. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Rexar slowly getting those globes for Hunter-Gatherer. They do need those globes kind of done. Lone Wolf going straight past Moby1. Moby1 trying to get a nice little peel, but no, that is a Kerrigan combo coming out. Phase Shift for Brightwing, keeping Sub-Zero alive. Sub-Zero pushed out. And that is a Greymane getting to live. That Phase Shift from Brightwing doing very well to keep them up. Other things to note, we do have Wizened Duelist Greymane. Not something you see often, but it's definitely an interesting one. And we do see that Subdue Joanna. If she hits all 4 of those people, she gets an 80% slow permanently. But if not, she still gets at least 80% slow. She gets an 80% slow if at least 2 people are hit. Misha getting really low. We do see the captain in danger. I'm going to zoom all the way out. Tower is down. Captain's going to have to go deep, and they do survive. Meanwhile, back up top, we do see Nathaniel getting relatively low. Junkrat going to push for Misha all the way in. But no, it is going to be the captain going down first down bottom. We see Misha going down next. Moby1 decides to hold forward, gets a nice four-man stun. Only 2 people hit with a Q. But it looks like they are going to have to start leaving. Sub-Zero, do not turn back around. Nope. We do see the Joanna going down. And that will be the second seed going over the game, going over to Infernal Misfits. Which now we can see they're wanting to do that friendly siege, that opposition siege game. Infernal Misfits going, you know what, we have the numbers, Joanna's down, they can't push in, let's just take siege now. Which may be a bit annoying for 30 seconds to Mosh, but is a very good play by Infernal Misfits. Also, hopefully the mic is sounding better now. I've had to readjust my position, turn up a little bit, but that should be better nonetheless. Anyway, we can actually see 30 seconds to Mosh have started doing boss, which pretty early boss take, all considering captain is halving, having to deal with siege giants. So it looks like they may just give seed, especially because seed is up top. But, oh, these siege giants have already gotten gate and 1 tower. Jaina's just getting there now. But Jaina will show, meaning that, well, Infernal Misfits will know that 30 seconds of Mosh are missing. But I wouldn't mind if 30 seconds of Mosh just kind of mosey on down bottom, start taking this. It's not the predictable play, but it is definitely a good play nonetheless. This is about half health on boss left. And they don't exactly have great boss burn, so to speak. Kerrigan Q is pretty good. Junkrat Q's maybe. But really, it's not all that powerful. But yeah, look at this. This is going down already. We can see that there's a little bit of reveal. So if they being Infernal Misfits were keeping a close watch on map, this tower, this may have revealed it. But no, we can see there is going to be a heavy push going on top. And we have boss taking bottom. Which, are we going to get a turnaround here? No. Infernal Misfits are going to keep going. Which is alright. We do also see Greymane is stealing a camp. We see 30 seconds to Mosh are going to be opening bottom up. But this is going to be basically a fort for fort. Hogger forced outwards. We do see Bruiser steal. But 30 seconds to Mosh will have to meet Infernal Misfits at this objective if they don't want them to get that objective. Which Infernal Misfits look like they're backing. They're just doing a little bit of damage control, which, fair enough, you don't need to fight for this. So I'll talk about the heroic talents now. We do see, for the side of Infernal Misfits, the Shockwave. Actually, we may get something up here, so I'll keep camera up here. Shockwave on Hogger. Actually, we have Maelstrom on the Kerrigan. Not something you see picked up too often. More often than not, we see Ultralist currently. Yeah, a little bit more value of that boss than the Siege Giants. But yeah, usually you see Ultralist, so it's a nice change of pace seeing Maelstrom. We also see Light Bomb, Anduin, Rocket Ride, Junkrat, and of course Taunt Varian picked up at 4. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Blink Heal, Brightwing, Unleash for Boars, Rexa, Curse Bullet, Greymane, Ring of Frost on Jaina. Not something you see often. Also, Misha was found in a bush. Maybe get your beer out of it. Don't want to have to call Peter on you. And we do also see Blessed Shield Joanna, which, keep in mind, this is about to be a 4v4. Every team, well, I say every team, both teams have their heroics up. And about the same level, same heroics. We see Blessed Shield came out. We see a nice double stun. Ring of Frost, we do see Joe D Immortal actually using Light Bomb, but goes down too quick as Curse Bullet found them. We see a double kill now for 30 seconds of Mosh, as that will be Born to Shine running out of mana. They will likely have to half. I wonder, do they have... Yep, they do have Phase Shift up. Good timing. And we can see now 30 seconds of Mosh are setting up for the objective, which, yeah, fair enough. They're still missing their tank, they're still missing their healer, so this will likely be a curse over to 30 seconds of Mosh, unless there is some kind of death run, interesting play that Infernal Misfits made, which Nathaniel is considering it. We see Junkrat is trying to stall. With that positioning, Sub-Zero is just in a good spot where even if they got interrupted, Raka would not have been interrupted herself. Anyway, I'm zooming wrong way. We do have the top objective, well, this objective coming up now. We are in the curse phase, which all the minions are set to 1 health, and the forts are turned off. Which, this is the time that 30 seconds of Mosh can get aggressive. We do see Rexar is taking that vision from Infernal Misfits. Blessed Shield comes up, that's Ring of Frost. And we do see that is Hogger going down. Meanwhile, Kerrigan does complete their... Oh, the captain will go down here though to that rocket ride kind of payoff of the... I can't remember what it's called, but the mines being dropped to their feet either way. So that is a very important counter kill onto the Jaina. That's a lot of the building clear gone. You obviously Born to Shine pushed out and Moby1 having to now pedal upwards. But there is a Kerrigan to meet them. We see Iron Skin is pop. Nice polymorph by Born to Shine. Moby1 barely... Ooh, skills actually did not quite have the... No, send Misha in. Yes, excellent. Nice done by Misha. We see Raka now backpedaling. It looks like Skills and Co. want at least the bear. They get 0.25 of a kill. But that is a relatively good defense, all considering only one fort lost for the side of Infernal Misfits. And it was right at the end, actually, that it went down to the minion wave. So if you're them, if you're Infernal Misfits, you're pretty happy. But even if you're 36 and Mosh, you still had a pretty good objective phase. You had at least got a kill onto... Did you get a kill? No. You just lost one, but it's not the end of the world. And they are on boss immediately. Infernal Misfits will hopefully sniff us out, but they're more wanting to make sure there's nothing cheeky going on. They're looking like they want to take that mid keep. But by the time that 36 and Mosh have completed this boss, this keep will still be up. And you can see that they're not full committing to it. They are in fact just backing out. Born to Shine, nice polymorph onto skills, making sure they're not going to get comboed or anything such as that. Meanwhile, we can see boss is being rotated up onto as well. They don't want it taking too much. It will probably take this fort. And saying that, Kerrigan's getting through it pretty fast now. We can see that boss is dropping. Okay, weird. You can see Jody Immortal and look, well, actually everyone's halving now. They're expecting maybe the same play being made by 30 Seconds of Mosh. This goes down still, unfortunate. We can see me on 30 Seconds of Mosh are nearly through boss. Kerrigan will be later than anyone else. Yep, that was correct. Jaina did not have Ice Block quest done at that point. And 30 Seconds of Mosh get that boss just in time. Jody Immortal tries to catch someone out. Doesn't quite do so. And Kerrigan actually very forward compared to everyone else. Night, polymorph by Brightwing. There we get a Blessed Shield coming out. Ring of Frost hitting Junkrat. Junkrat barely getting the rocket ride off in time. That's a big slow coming out. No one goes down to the rocket ride, actually. They all survive. And, well, that is good if you're both teams, not losing anyone, but not great if you're Infernal Misfits, as that boss and the Sea Giants were got at the same time. And it looks like 56 Mosh are making their way up to objective now. And this bottom keep will likely go down as well. But yeah, looking at quests, we do see Kerrigan and Varian have completed theirs. Anduin's still got a little bit to go on theirs. Well, Anduin's halfway through theirs, I should say. Junkrat is not even a quarter. Meanwhile, Rexar is 16 out of 25. And the Joanna hasn't completed theirs yet. It's a hard one to complete, as well as Sub-Zero getting up there in terms of the Wise and Dual stacks, but it looks like we're getting invaded here. Captain finds Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf finds Captain. There's a lot of damage coming out into Jaina. Jaina goes down. Not having that Ice Block actually does make a massive difference. Jaina without that really struggles to avoid a lot of incoming damage in CC, and you can see that that's her survivability, and she just goes down there. You know, we do have now the full 5-man pushing into the fort of 30 Seconds to Mosh. But 30 Seconds to Mosh do at least have a bottom keep open. However, Jaina will not be up in time for the objective, is probably the important thing to note here. And 56 and Mosh don't have great poke into things such as objective. Misha gets E'd, so we do see heal going out to her. Sub-Zero getting what damage they can off to the bottom, but that will be this fort guaranteed going down. Sub-Zero saying a little bit too long, having to back out. And it may just be 30 Seconds to Mosh need to eat an objective. That's stats. I don't know why I brought that up. That was an accident. We can see they want to step in. We see Moby1 pushed out. Nice route by Jody Immortal. We see Lone Wolf going for the Rexar. Raka getting phase shifted on. Will it go off in time? Nice, it does go off in time. Meanwhile, we do see that Ring of Frost coming out. No one quite going down yet. The Captain in danger. Moby1 trying to save him, but we see Greyman and Jaina going down at the same time on 2 different fronts. Born to Shine also barely holding on as well. But no, it'll be everyone getting to... Well, everyone on the side of Infernal Misfits getting to live. And now this is actually a dangerous spot for 30 Seconds to Mosh. They can take a building if they decided to push together. It may even be an end. But with the split focus, it's maybe a little bit of missed opportunity for Infernal Misfits. They could easily just take this building, get through it to the next. But we do see Misha going down as well. But how they've decided to split this. Also, if you're Wygon, you can just run through here, but it is what it is. It looks like we're just going to divide and conquer instead. We're going to get as many structures as possible. We're going to try to get that macro advantage while we're here. We see Born to Shine halving right in the face, essentially, of Infernal Misfits. Does get cancelled. Right, but Infernal Misfits will back out now after getting that one keep. But I do wonder if they were all together, maybe it would have been a little bit more effective. However, that is a hindsight thing, and that's already been. It's already gone. We'll have to look later. But in saying that, we're still relatively even. Yes, there is an experience advantage because of the kills that's happened for... Actually, we can check that. For the side of Infernal Misfits. However, structures are even. The next curse, the actual next curse, so for 3 out of 3 objectives, won't be up until won't be until everyone has level 20s. So that will be a that'll be a pretty good fight around then. But I do imagine we're going to see a 2020 fight at some point before that comes up, and we do see actually the side of Infernal Misfits for once actually going for their first pass of the game, and actually stealing 30 seconds to Mosh's one for once, so it should be interesting. But we can see that 30 seconds to Mosh aren't wanting to deal with that, instead they're going elsewhere. Also, hi Solfrenia, hope you're doing well, and welcome everyone else that has jumped in today. So that is boss down. We do see 30 seconds to Mosh are setting up a little bit of a gank potential coming up. They're a little bit spread out. Raka is showing, but has now at least completed their level 4, which will make them much tankier. However, they are down their 20s, which will be a very important... No, 20s coming in now. We're going to have to see some insta-picks. Let's see how this goes. As we see, that is an early Ring of Frost. We can actually see Kerrigan goes down first. Jaina finally having Ice Block, having to block it off. Born to Shine getting relatively low. Barely keeping the Captain alive. The Captain of Born to Shine living. Rexar goes down, sure. And we see Born to Shine has the... Nope. That wasn't quite going to save him time. Phase shift not quite that quick. But that will be a 2 for 2. However, the tank is down for one team, while the other team has the tank up still. So we have Damage Bruiser Healer versus Damage Tank Healer. But no, it is just 30 seconds of Mosh halving. They do need to fend for boss. As it is boss on core with Siege Giants, it's not something you really want to keep... It's not really something you want to keep up, as it will get through shield, it will get through a different amount. We see Moby Wands pulls a little bit away, and we do see Grey Mate rolls out in time, killing the boss. But meanwhile, we do see boss being taken by Infernal Misfits. 30 seconds to Mosh won't actually be able to get there in time is probably the big thing to note. Interesting, we see Wygon trying to half already. They do get rooted by the boss. The boss is actually like, I'm not done with you, man. You're staying here. But we do see they do cap it in the end, which this boss will go straight to core. That's probably the important thing to know. So 30 seconds to Mosh do need to deal with that more or less immediately. They don't have to be on until about roughly this area to save as much of their core as possible, but they will need to at least deal with it sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, we can see both teams are all back up. I'm going to open up the Storm Talent so we can actually have a look, because we do see have that Shockwave upgrade of Power Spike, which I actually don't know what it does. I've never seen this before. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Right, we do also see Kerrigan's Spot of the Storm. Anduin's Varian's Legacy. We do see Cannonball Junkrat, Varian's Glory to the Alliance for Varian. We do see Saunt coming out in Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero taking a lot of damage. Does swipe out of danger. Lone Wolf, meanwhile, not quite find anything. Ring of Frost doesn't quite find anything either. We do see Cold Snap coming through. Not favoring follow-up. Unstop popped by the Moby one. Meanwhile, we can see that they're going in on Raka. Raka's getting taunted. That's likely going to be... No, it doesn't go on top of him. Raka still goes down, but Greyman gets the rocket right on top of him. That looks like it's going to be caught down. Boss is still quite healthy, and all 5 members of Infernal Misfits are up. So it'll be first game of the series going over to the side of Infernal Misfits. GG caused by both sides. I didn't even see them pushing up. But yeah, GG to Infernal Misfits. The first map goes over to them. Right. I absolutely pushed the wrong button there, but let's see how that went. Let's close my chat and let's just not show all my friends' names. Anyway, we do have... In terms of hero damage and such, Wygon did a lot. Junkrat got a lot of value that game, and you can just see there, they had the most siege and the most hero damage by a decent amount, which Junkrat, very good wave clear, very good hero damage with that splash they can get. Meanwhile, Rexar actually had the most 36 Mosh, closely followed by Greymane. Jaina had a lot of siege though, so it's kind of hard to quantify that as Jaina had most siege, most soak, while Rexar didn't, so interesting there. Meanwhile, Kerrigan had the most, well, actually very much tied with Hogger, 14.9 versus 14.7, and yeah, really close for both teams there. In terms of healing, Brightwing did actually outdo the Anduin just by a little bit, but there was more damage coming into the side of 36 Mosh, so very much Born to Shine was needing to work for it. Meanwhile, let's have a look at talent, see if anything stands out here, as I'm just going to... Sorry, I'm just going to click this before I forget. Anything that stands out? Yeah, the Hogger Shockwave at 20. Not often you see it, but I did like it, as well as Variant, Anduin going the heal, the damage equals movement speed up, and the Variant's Legacy comboing quite well with it. Yeah, even ignoring stats, Sophronia makes a very good point. Junkrat with their traps, their trap and their W alone caused a lot of chaos for the side of 36 Mosh, which is very much a reason why I like playing Junkrat. Junkrat is a very chaotic hero to play. Rubbish Rodent. Thank you. I literally went to go say Rubbish Rodent because that's what I call them a lot, and I can see Raka has called them Rubbish Rodent as well. Rubbish Rodent, very annoying to play into as well. And I think everyone has known just how annoying that interrupt can be and how much it can throw you around. Other than that, looking at the side of 36 Mosh, Jaina did kind of lean more into the Blizzard build, which I do like. I do like the Blizzard build a lot, especially because they were doing that kind of more macro plays with going to bosses, taking camps, and the cooldown reduction on Blizzard does a lot for that. But you do wonder at the end there maybe if E-build would have been the play, but it's kind of hard to say that given that the bosses did generate so much value. Yeah. That's also Variant. It did interesting that he didn't go Shield Wall, went the Charge Talon at 10, but that's neither here nor there. It obviously worked out for them as they were able to stay on top of people there. So let me throw it over to the map view, and I'm going to be curious as to what we see next. I nearly queued up for an ARAM out of habit. I'm like, yeah, ARAM's the right mode. No. If I queue up for ARAM, we've got a whole other issue. I don't think I can forfeit a match for being 15 minutes too late to the own cast. I think Raka may be able to confirm that or not. She's a hit caster after all. But, yeah. So, if we're going to hazard a guess, I think 30 seconds to Mosh are going to go for first pick. Actually, we see Garden... Okay, I don't even need to guess. We do indeed have Garden of Terror up. Which, did either team go here last time? We can actually have a cheeky little peek. As I'm just going to scroll back down. Yes, last time we did go to... Between F86 and Mosh and Infernal Misfits, they did actually go to Garden of Terror last time. Which, very much a similar style to Cursed Hollow, but a little more in favor of that kind of heavy macro, as there are actually more camps. So let me just tick off a few things. We have Garden of Terror, and it was map pick by Infernal Misfits. So yeah, 36 Mosh did choose that first pick. So yeah, let me just have a sip of my beer and go, yeah, this is great. I do enjoy these bigger maps. It's not often you see them. But right. Last time, 36 and Mosh had junk right here. But if we're looking across the board, we see... It looks like that 36 and Mosh have banned out Alarak and Kel'Thuzad in the past here. Thank you for following the captain's streams. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, 36 and Mosh, they do have... Oh, subscribing, jeez. Oh, thank you so much. I didn't realize that till just now. Oh gosh. No. Oh, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Captains, thank you for 5 gifted subs to Della Soap, Goddess of Heals, Ultimate Dad Joke, XGY, and Too Fast Eddie. But looks like both teams are ready. I don't know how I got flustered with that, but apparently here we are. Wait, did Versing's Mosh save you ready? No, one team is ready, so we're not quite there yet. But yeah, it looks like I imagine we're going to see the same bans coming out from 36 and Mosh, both Alarak and Kel'Thuzad. It looks like they banned it last time. Meanwhile, I imagine Infernal Misfits will much go the same as well, because it looks like the last time we were at this map, they also banned out Stukov and Sonya. But it may be different if Raka is out, just because I... Actually, what is... Yeah, because it looks like Raka isn't in... No, stop! No! Oh, thank you so much, the captain, for giving... Oh, no, it's Raka? Gifting 5 subs to SmackLoud, Absolute Fiction, Jakey Izzy 1, Zed Hots, and Real Big Dill. How's that throwing me off? I've gone bright red, but thank you so much, guys. I greatly appreciate the support. And apparently I need glasses because I just didn't read that it was Raka correctly. Oh no. Right, but it looks like both teams are ready, so we should be getting into things shortly. And I will try hazard guesses this time, try break down the draft of where we go to. Stop! Thank you, the Captain's Dreams, for gifting another sub to Atomic Onion Tree this time. Looks like both teams are ready. So hopefully we get into it in a few moments. Let's just say cards are ready before I get too flustered. Oh, they found a way to get on the skin. That's horrible. But thank you so much for the support, you two. I greatly appreciate it. Right. Garden of Terror. First pick. 30 seconds to Mosh. Should be interesting. Let's swap on over into the game. So, I imagine we're going to see Alarak banned out the gate, followed by Stukov, followed by Kel'Thuzad, followed maybe not by Sonya. Sonya, that's the only one I am like, maybe not Sonya, maybe it's Brightwing instead. But we do see Alarak banned out, there's the first one, then we get Stukov. Stukov? I said Stukov? Come on, guys. Just work with me here. Don't make me look like an idiot. There we go, Stukov. Excellent. Oh, I do not enjoy being flustered. It's not something that happens often. And I feel like people are gonna relish it. No! Thank you. Raka for gifting a sub to Mr. Born to Shine. This is not what I'm here for. But we do see Kel'Thuzad is stopped. Banned out. And then we see Sonya is still banned out as well. I guess that there is still a decent amount of Sonya played by Diapants. I'm not as I don't know wait, is Diapants a tackle vote? I should know this, shouldn't I? Yeah. I don't know Diapants' God damn. Hero pool as well as Raka's. But we see Brightwing is picked up by Born to Shine once again as that first pick, which I thought was going to be banned, but nope. I would hazard a guess as we see a Kerrigan again, but it looks like we may get a Varian, and Orphea is a likely answer here. They did pick up, Wygon did pick up Orphea here last time. Oh, it could be Anduin and Varian again. Nope, we get Varian and Junkrat. Wygon realizes how strong Junkrat was that last game, so they went, you know what, let's pick it up again. 30 Seconds of Mosh struggled into it last time, let's see how they do with it this time. I like to see how 30 Seconds of Mosh work around this. There are still quite a few tight chokes in this map where the traps and the concussion mines can get a lot of value. But 30 Seconds of Mosh, very much building a similar comp to last time. I would like to see something from the captain a bit more ranged poke, so they can deal with the Junkrat, maybe a Li Ming, maybe a Chromie, something along the lines of that. Now, what are some other range kind of poke heroes? Not Junkrat, obviously. We do see Leoric banned out, so very much the same bans as last time for Infernal Misfits. 36 to Mosh, on the other hand, has one more ban. Well, let's go back up here. Not quite the same ban as... So, same bans as the first map for Infernal Misfits, I should say. Meanwhile, who was it? Skills had the Kerrigan last map. So, we may see a Kerrigan, but no, we see Lucio banned out once again. Which, interesting that we see the Lucio banned out. Such a high priority ban onto Lucio. It doesn't look like Infernal Misfits have managed to play it this much, but it may just be that I've missed something and that... someone is actually a god healer. Bit hard to tell. I don't really know their comps. I don't know everything. See, Sylphrenia is a fan of Li Ming. We see Anduin picked up and Gul'dan picked up by skills. Interesting composition. I do like it. I do like seeing these sorts of things. But Brightwing into this, if they pick up the increased spell armor, can do a lot. If we get 55 spell armor on any given hero, that means they'll survive a lot of both Gul'dan and Junkrat. I mean, we'll see Diapants picking up Hogger this time, so taking it from Nathaniel. I hope you're saying the name right. And the captain, Jaina once again. So we are once again leading into that blow-up, which I hope works out from this time. It did work out from last time with that Blizzard Shield Ring of Frost combination. I do like the side of 30 seconds to Mosh's comp. They have good clamp? I was supposed to say clamp care. Camp clear, which makes far more sense than cleaning anything. And we see a Murky to round it. Right, we see a Murky to round out the compositions, which definitely is an interesting choice. It can work out pretty well. If Nathaniel is on top of it, they can get far with this. However, they may struggle to get any stacks of bribe up to level 4, but I am going to swap it on over into the match. I realize I've got to save predictions for last time, so I'm going to do that, swap it over, and we'll see how this goes, shall we? See you on the other side.
Oh, a swap. Oh no, but a swap followed by a light bulb.
Here. 4-man mosh pit followed by a tomb. Oh no!
Oh, here's Light Bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man Light Bomb. They're going to follow up, and they're going to get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead.
Right. For once, the game actually beat the intro, so that's a nice change of pace. So, we have Nathaniel on the Murky, Lone Wolf, Varian once again, so probably Taunt. We see Wygon, Junkrat, Joe the Immortal on the Anduin, and Skills 912 on the Fellfire Man. Vroom, vroom, vroom. What's his name? Gul'dan. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do see Dire Pants on the Hogger, the Captain Jaina, Sub-Zero on the Greymane, Moby-Wan, Jaina, and Born to Shine on the Brightwing, which, hell yeah. Meanwhile, we can see everything's just getting thrown out. Junkrat already set up in his bush. Moby-Wan getting nice double blind, but not too much going to be found from that. And I'm going to just briefly hold on here as before talents. And we are still pre-4. The side of Infernal Misfits won't quite have a advantage yet. Nathaniel taking a decent amount of damage from the captain already. And whoever goes into Nathaniel may have a little bit of difficulty, especially post-4, but we'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, that's kind of a first scuffle over. Let's see what we've picked. Bribe Murky. Is anyone... Hands up if you're surprised it's Bribe Murky. It's not me. I'm not surprised. But it is Bribe Murky indeed. Meanwhile, we see Lions more Varian. We do see Hogger in danger. Does Hog spin out of said danger thanks to that What was that? Was it Anduin's auto attack just slowly following Hogger, or was it the E animation? I don't know. Either way, we do also have the Drain Life build Chaotic Energy Li Ming. Not Li Ming. Gul'dan, which already 4 stacks, 4 globes through already. It's pretty decent. That means you managed to bully the opposition team off the globe both times. Meanwhile, we see Greymane doing the camp already. And outside of Jaina's baseline Frostbite, there is no quest, so to speak. Nathaniel very much considering stealing camp, but nope, they are not going to be allowed to do so. Meanwhile, we can see Hog spinning, taking that other siege camp. So very quick camp pickups by the side of 36 to Mosh. The side of Infernal Misfits did get the top one out just that little bit sooner, but we do see in general they're all coming out more or less at the same time. Hit from inwards. Nice, good patience. But here are level 4s for both teams. The second camp picked up by Infernal Misfits. Meanwhile, Greymane is already most of the way through the Bruiser. They may be a little bit low. Hopefully they get a little bit of help soon. Oh no, they should be fine. But yep, there we go. Camp going over the side of 36 Mosh. But it looks like all the camps will be picked up before that first seed, which is very good. What's the word I'm looking for? Discipline? No. Very good macro from both teams, which I like it. Meanwhile, we're looking at the talents. We can see Murky's still considering what level 4 they're going to pick up. They did take a little shot from the tower to get most of the wave. Sub-Zero wanted the kill, but didn't quite do so. Now they have to rotate out the long way to make sure they're not going to get caught out by anyone. But nope, it does look like that 36 and Mosh are just going to be getting the objective instead. Meanwhile, Brightwing pushing top, and the bottom camp now just being cleared up by the side of 36 to Mosh. So let's have a look at damage on each team, on each side. Half a tower bot to the tower, to a full tower top for 36 to Mosh to Infernal Misfits. Meanwhile, we can see mid-gates both take a little bit of damage. But no, we're going to be getting a heavy push top for Infernal Misfits. Which, Brightwing probably not the best to defend just into this, but it definitely makes it much easier for the side of Infernal Misfits to get these ganks. As Varian now has that little bit extra breathing room to go in on, and it means that whoever is top has to be just that little bit more scared that someone will rotate up onto them and make their lives a lot more difficult. Meanwhile, we're going to look back bottom as we do see everyone is pushing in. Who is pinging me and why? I am not going to ignore that. I am going to ignore that, actually. I'm just going to go elsewhere. Meanwhile, we can see 36 Diapants is being rotated up to. I would have liked maybe... Oh, Lone Wolf wasn't actually seeing Diapants getting taunted. Phase Shift coming out does keep him up. Anduin getting just the route onto Diapants, but it looks like the side of 36 and Mosh are here in time to get a nice turnaround. Joe D. Immortal taking a decent amount of damage. And actually, I didn't notice it. I didn't mention it last time, but we do see Lightwell once again from the Anduin. It's not the most picked talent by any means, but it could definitely do a lot for whoever's in the offlane to help sustain them, or even if you get pointed fights like this, it could do a lot. Now we can see Murky is going to be stealing that bribe camp, that siege camp basically soon up, but they are going to be doing a little bit of proxying at the same time, but they won't be able to steal this camp. Oh, Murky looks like they may get out. Nope, they've run out of space. And that is a Murky going down. It did take 3 people to kill them, but it is at least a little Murky off the map for 8 seconds. Which, I know, maybe not the longest times, but we do see now the same that happened top is happening bottom. We can see that Infernal Misfits are just getting gates. Which, while on the grand scheme of macro things, it does help. It's not the best, but it does help. It's not a thought. It does help give you... Again, that does help Varian with that breathing room. It helps them push in. It lets them get away with a lot more than they would be able to if the gates were up. But meanwhile, looking at talents, I forgot to mention Taunt Varian level 4, but not really a surprise. I may have inadvertently mentioned it. We also have that Piercing Light Anduin no stacks yet, and the Taste for Explosions Junkrat, which we do see is going to go down to the siege camp. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do have Subdue on the Joanna. Once again, we'd see Wizened Duelist Greymane, which... Maybe the extra range would be better into Varian, gives you more time to get out. But we do see that Taunt comes out as Hogger was winding up his spin, which, good patience by Lone Wolf, and unfortunately for the side of 36 seconds to Mosh, that will be them going down. But meanwhile, we do see Brightwing still top, they're just healing that. Maybe if they're immediately on to the Hogger, they would have lived. But 10s are now through for both teams, and we've got some interesting things, but I don't know why I closed that for some reason. I thought it was closed. We do have some interesting talents once again. We do have the Rocket Ride Junkrat, which will do a lot with the... Which can do a lot with Taunt, as obviously person staying in the right place. We also see Brightwing Taunt, and we see him horrified. Nice insta-cleanse on himself, but we see Brightwing going down. Ring of Frost trying to save him. Lone Wolf taking a decent amount of damage. We do see the Rocket Ride going out. Moby 1 has it on top of him. Pops the Iron Skin. Slowed by the Varian Q, and will go down to the aftermath of Rocket Ride. disastrous if you're 36 to Mosh, especially because this is the seed coming up now. Meanwhile, we do see March of the Murlocs drop, Sub-Zero getting relatively low. Does roll out, but it looks like that poison from the Murlocs will be just a little bit too much, and Junkrat finishes the job. Meanwhile, we can see Junkrat is going to try and knock him off. Diapants hits him off the objective. Nope, but will go down as well. And what was looking alright just turned out not. 36 to Mosh now have a very uphill battle for this map. They have the tools to do so. They have the tools to stay in it. We do see interesting things, such as that blink kill. We see Horderbolt. I really forgot what Horderbolt was called. That's one of my favorite talent names. That's unfortunate. Ring of Frost. Curse Bullet. Curse Bullet, great for blowing people up, as well as Blessed Shield. Also great for blowing people up. On the other side, we have March of Murlocs. Definitely an interesting pick, but can still get a lot of value. Meanwhile, Rocket Ride Junkrat once again. Taunt Varian. Light Bomb Anduin, and Horrify Gul'dan. Horrify, excellent ultimate. Far better than that Reign of Memes. Vengeance, whatever you want to call it. The Reign of Vengeance. But 36 and Mosh do have the tools to clear this. Jaina did go that auto attack. Blizzard build once again. Has excellent PvE potential, but can at least melt things effectively. I am on my wrong screen to the left. So we do see that heavy push coming in. We can see top Plant Terror is already down. You can see the bottom one is slowly going. Hogger trying to be a sphere. But looks like everyone is coming in now. And there goes the middle one. Varian maybe considering getting a taunt off. Nope. Decides to just back out. Nope. Born to Shine says nope. Ring of Frost. Nope. Not quite finding Wygon. Taunt coming out onto Lone Wolf, but hits by a Curse Bullet and Polymorph immediately. Meanwhile, we can see the Captain gets stunned. And that's a double kill. Junkrat with a 2-for-1 special on the Rocket Ride. What stunned them? Oh, maybe they're just rooted to the Anduin. That will probably make far more sense, because they did get a stack of Piercing Light now. I could check my instant replay. Because thanks to delay, I can actually have a look. What stunned them? Oh, was it Horrify? But no, we can see they got the 2 kills, and we're able to turn around to a nice fight there. Town pull. Light Bomb. It was Light Bomb. Sorry. My camera work got a little bit sloppy there, but I was just making sure. But we do see now camps are stolen by Infernal Misfits. They do steal that siege camp. Not Bruiser. Murky was looking to steal the bottom siege camp, but wasn't able to do so. Greymane and co did turn up there in time, and that will be all she wrote for that. But now we have 36 and Mosh playing a bit safe. They do need to get 60. They do need to catch up on that experience. I wouldn't mind seeing them go and just freeze lanes. Just go, you know what? We're not going to push. We're just going to freeze lanes. Get the soak. Deny you that experience as well. Murky does mess with that a little bit, as Murky doesn't quite care as much about dying as everyone else on this field. But it does at least slow them down. Greymane spots for Murloc in the bush. But we can see that Nathaniel does get those stacks, and that 36 and Mosh do not want to mess around currently. And I imagine we're going to see a March of Murlocs. Nope, Nathaniel is just going to push. Loses a little bit more help in life. They bubbled right as Greymane went for the dive. So Greymane did use his E. He did use an engage tool, but because of when the Murloc bubbled, it ate for cooldown. And we can see Murky is getting a lot of value at this point, just giving everyone a run around. Meanwhile, Diapants is the one in danger. Does Hog spin correctly this time. Lone Wolf didn't taunt. We can see Phase Shift coming out. Born to Shine gets hit with a Horrify. Diapants in a lot of danger. Does use Hortapult to get out. Ring of Frost coming out. And we do see Nathaniel using March of Murlocs on the buildings. However, just keep in mind, March of Murlocs does do reduced damage to structures. I believe that is true nowadays, yes? Yes, 50% damage to structures. Born to Shine just moving out of the way of that Junkrat mine. And actually, there's something I want to check. She did go Safety Dust. I would have imagined Fairy Protect. No, Fairy Protects is 20. What's the Brightwing plus armor talent? But we can see that Bruiser Camp is stolen by Infernal Misfits. And I can't remember what a talent's called to save my life currently. Which it does happen. Oh, Murky goes down. It seems that the Sun 36 and Mosh are taking out their frustrations on a poor little Murloc. And that 36 and Mosh... This is actually a very split team by Infernal Misfits. But it looks like they're sniffing it up a bit too late. Lone Wolf and Wygon actually rotating through a dangerous spot. Murky egg down. They know where Junkrat is. They know 2 people were top, so they could use this for their advantage. But no, it doesn't look like they're going to push in immediately. Sorry about the sneeze. I at least moved my head away from the camera. From the microphone. We see Moby1 stepping up now, trying to stop people. Sub-Zero does roll. Ring of Frost comes out, hitting no one that time. Fear following up. We can see Brightwing as the one danger. Does get hit by the light bomb, taking a lot of damage, but will go down to Bavarian. Meanwhile, that is Rocket Ride hitting Greymane. Oh, not Greymane. The Joanna on top of their heads. Nice Blessed Shield, keeping him alive. Moby1 still having to run. And 56 Mosh losing yet another person there, which is unfortunate. But at least they're even talents now, but they are about to come up to another plant terror. However, because it is Brightwing, and if we have a look, Brightwing will have phase shift up, which we can see what the camera is doing. Fun. They may survive. Meanwhile, Diapants need a Hortipult out. Does so. And barely holds on. So I think that 36 and Mosh do need to actually contest this. They can't just give it. They know where Murky is. They know someone was just at the siege camp. You have the Brightwing up. You have phase shift used. Now you can step in. It looks like Skills and Jody Immortal will be stepping up. Nice talk coming out to Brightwing. Brightwing have to cleanse himself. Junkrat or barely missing them that time. We do actually hear that. I thought I heard Riptide. Apparently I was imagining things. Light Bomb coming out. Diapants being hit by it. Meanwhile, Nate Faniel using Master Murlocs from behind, but that is Greymane down first. Born to shine. Too much Murlocs on them. Will go down next. Moby1 taunted in the March for Murlocs. Diapants and Captain being run down by a Murloc. And that will be 3 kills. Go over the side of 30 seconds. Oh, not 30s. Infernal Misfits. See Diapants with a very aggressive defense. Does manage to roll through the Hogspin through the Horrify. But that may still be a little bit too late. Lone Wolf. Okay, dude. I'll accept it if you say something about that, guys. But don't be him. But now we see 2 plant terrors on the objective. Taunt coming out. And a little bit early with their root. Meaning Hogger can at least spin out. Wygon throwing trap. But that looks like it'll likely be the game. And the series going over to the side of Infernal Misfits. GG, well played, called by both sides. And oh, that was a series. It was doing so well, but it did fall apart at the end. But let's have a look at the stats, shall we? I'm always afraid, after the map that it did happen, that this will just show zeros across the board. Because here's a cast that I did earlier this season. There was like, end of the game, 20-minute game, like, zero kills, 0 healing, 0, etc., etc., etc. I'm like, oh, please, never again. But we can see that the side of 30 Seconds of Mosh were just having a rough time this series. They did start out pretty well. The start of the game, relatively even. But that first objective coming in really was kind of where it started to go. But we'll get into that. Junkrat as well is doing his annoying thing again with those mines and traps, just saving the escapes. But between Bavarian and Anduin with that taunt root, there was just... Even Hogger was struggling to survive. Hogger has an unstoppable ability. But if the taunt comes out at the right time, which I'll give it to Lone Wolf, they did very well. Lone Wolf did well to get that taunt off at the right time. They can still get a lot done. So in terms of stats, we do see Hogger head for most siege for 50 to Mosh. Meanwhile, Murky, Gul'dan, both very close to Gul'dan, barely beating him out, but both quite actually difficult for the composition of 30 Seconds to Mosh to deal with. Maybe if you had Hogger bottom, it would have been a little bit easier, but it's too hard to say, because Hogger does have those difficulties going into Gul'dan, especially if Gul'dan is that Drain Life build. In terms of healing, Brightwing did try best, however, just for kill... The time to kill was a little bit too low for even phase shift to go off. Less than 2 seconds will mean that the healer won't quite get there in time. In terms of siege roll, we do see that Murky had the most, and Hogger was trying the best but couldn't quite get there. In terms of talents, very much similar to last time. Murky did actually go for one-shot build without Octograb, which is an interesting choice to say the least. Wrath of Cod, you don't see often. Yeah, it's a rarely seen talent. You typically only see it with Octograb at that, because you do need the slime target to stay in the place. But meanwhile, we do see everything else kind of more or less looking the same, looking standard. And there's not much really I can say too much about the talents. Again, maybe the spell armor on the Brightwing it going up to 55, but that's kind of you need the extra healing as well. So you're damned if you, damned if you don't. You are really picking your poison there. You're just picking your preference there. And there's always... I'm a fan of preference picks, just because I know that. There's a lot of talents that I pick are... Well, I have to say that this is... I have to say this is correct, like, 99% of the time. So, Born to Shine still... I like their build. I steal their build often. Born to Shine knows I steal their build. They get frustrated when I steal their build, because like, it's my build. I'm like, too bad. Anyway, I'm going to hop into a lobby, see if anyone is willing to join me. I'm going to go hop into here. At Infernal Misfits. Oh, never mind. Someone's joined me before I can even at them. Excellent timing. How are you guys feeling after that win, Nathaniel?
Oh, pretty good. Feeling pretty good.
Oh, we have a whole
Finally
team here.
Get Murky going
Lovely,
on. So
yes, the whole team is here.
I got to play Murky, but I mean our skills never gets to play his guys, so that's kind of bummer.
Yeah.
I assuming Skills plays both the Alarak and the Kel'Thuzad?
Yes.
Is that just banned out every game this season for you guys?
Yeah.
After the first few games, then everyone started doing that.
There's only like one that they made a mistake and let in the raid boss.
Which one is the raid boss?
Oh, Alarak's the raid boss.
I see. So, map number 1. We had the... I haven't immediately forgotten. Cursed Hollow. Was Kerrigan meant to be the first pick? Were you always just going to show your hand on the first pick, or was it just meant to be a little bit later?
They were most likely... Well, last time we played them, they banned it third, so I was like, well, I'll just play it, because they're probably going to ban it anyway, so...
Yeah, it was very touchy, because I brought up...
I know it's risky to pick Kerrigan first that early, because there's so many different ways to kill her, but, like... I just like, well, I'll just play smart and wait for cooldowns to be out, and then I'll just go in, so...
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it was more of they can get rid of the carry or let Skills have it, or just have Nate take Hogger, because he's pretty much impossible to counter the Johanna.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that draft, did you guys more or less get all the heroes you wanted, or was it anything kind of...
I think so.
Any hammer
they
from
did.
Besides Skills,
I
I
never
think
did.
he was the only one that got bummed.
Yeah, I never
like
get what I
every
want.
single time.
Yeah, just don't expect it.
They
Fair
had some
enough.
really good plays at first. They got both bosses. We lost some
Twice.
towers at
They
first.
got both bosses
Mm.
twice.
Was it twice they got
Yeah,
both? Or
they got
Yeah,
both bosses
That's
back
why
to
I was
back.
getting kind of like, I don't know, more
Tilted?
yeah,
Hey,
adamant
yeah.
about
Cool though, man. I mean,
engaging it. Yeah.
Well, I knew I could test at level 16 because my Sped Valley, which,
It's like
Yeah,
the
you wound
first
up with
time I
top
could let it
damage and
slide.
no
The
death,
second
so.
time I'm like, guys, come on, I called this ahead of time.
I was going to ask, how were you guys... Because obviously they did get that macro advantage as they were able to pick up back-to-back bosses twice. What was kind of your game plan going... They've done this once, they've done this twice. What the hell do we need to change so they aren't going to keep doing that?
Kill them
Wolf was
there.
pretty good about countering or
If
like
I had-
fixing the boss problem, I would say.
If I had to say anything with that scenario with two bosses, I mean, I heard Joe's call for the first boss when they took both of them the first time. The second time, I figured they just got Bruiser, and we were already in mid lane taking like half of their fort. I figured we probably would have had a little bit more time to get some more damage, then go over there. But Joe was right; they had the Gray Mane, so they really kind of just quickly took it immediately. So that was a bummer. But I think when it came to team fights, the only pressure they really had was the Johanna shield bash with the Jaina ult. That was their only thing. Other than that, they couldn't really do much. So as long as we just separated, as long as we had Junkrat and Joe as Anduin separate, we were fine. Because we could save one person, we can poke them onto a bomb for an retaliation, and just rush them down with the carry and the...
Yeah, like despite them getting the bosses, it was more just Wolf and everybody keeping their cool, and like staying with the plan to counter soak, counter gank. Like after we burn the boss as fast as possible.
Yeah. Which, your composition not the best at doing boss up to Kerrigan is stacked, from what I recall, how Kerrigan works in general. Especially with that Q build. And the Junkrat is not something that well, obviously it's not one of the main ones, but Junkrat did get a lot of value this series. So was he always planned for Garden of Terror, or was it more he went well the first map? Why not again?
They played Junkrat, or at least like when we fought them last time, they played Junkrat the second game. I don't remember very well, but a few of the guys like remembered it being pretty good, and Wagon can play Junkrat.
It was just really annoying, you know. There's a lot of poke going on. And we like to be grouped up, so that's kind of annoying for us. So we're like, well, why don't we just pick it then?
He has a lot of poke, and he's got a lot of interruption with bombs and traps and stuff. And even if you do gank him, he's got the bombs, so if you get rooted by somebody else, it's like almost an easy
You
death.
can't really.
I don't remember if it was the first or second match or round or whatever, but there was one point where they were like trying to engage us as we were on their siege giants, and I just noticed them like trying to come in, but they were like hesitant because Wagon put all of Junkrat's traps right there in the alley.
Exactly.
And then when they finally started going, then I just double rooted. It was pretty hilarious.
But you never actually like try Junkrat.
I believe that was the bottom camp of Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, like the sea.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was like early level 3. We went for it, I think.
Yep, you guys went for it, but they managed to step in and somehow managed to... Yeah, that aggressive play onto the siege camp that early on Cursed. Why? I am curious about that one.
I kind of
just
figured
following.
they were. I kind of figured they were, and they definitely were. They had the Grey Mane, they had the Brightwing doing it, and considering we saw 2 of them, we had one top and we had one mid. I thought we'd have enough time to gank them, kill them, and steal the camp. Because if you're able to call that out really quick, they're not going to be able to retaliate quick enough or get there quick enough. So considering we were either level 3 or maybe I just got taunt, I'm not sure. I was hoping me and Skills could probably.
No, it was level 3. Because you were afterwards, you were like, I could have killed him if I had taunt.
Oh yeah,
it was pre-taunt.
That's true. Either way, I mean, if you're able to be that aggressive early game and steal camps, it's it's way more pressure and it's a little bit better than soaking. Anything that you can steal is a lot better than just taking something that you can already know you can guarantee.
Yeah.
He almost got me killed with that call, but I just went with it.
I don't think anybody died there on either side.
No, all players survived.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, moving on to map number 2, we had Garden of Terror. Why the murky pick? I want to know.
Nate was
very I convinced them. I was like, I'm doing murky. I want it.
He's like, I want murky. I want it. I want to do it.
My,
okay, fine.
My follow-up question is, did you guys say, okay, fine, because Hogger was taken?
No.
I didn't even.
He was playing murky before the Hogger was taken.
Like the fourth thing he said was, I want to be murky.
Yeah, he's like, I want to be murky. Guys, I want to be murky. Ooh, I don't know if I could do murky into that.
Do you play a lot of murky?
A few other guys, and then he's like, I want to be murky.
I love playing murky. Murky's great.
Murky's fun.
Hey, he made it work.
This is where the Samuro main in me smiles, going, yeah, pick murky in my games.
I don't know about that. That sounds bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is bad.
But it was always fun.
Relatively even for the early game this time. But you guys seem to manage the Blessed Shield Ring of Frost combo much better this game. Were there any specific calls or anything you guys were doing in particular to kind of manage that better, or was it just kind of you guys
spread out?
The time I made a call like that was in the first match. I just kept telling them, I'm like, watch the bushes, like with the Jaina Joanna combo.
And the moment he said that, I died. By the way.
I kept saying it. I kept saying it for like 2 lanes, and then the moment I stopped saying it,
and then I died.
It was that one boss battle that we won.
But
right?
no, I think it was just a matter of everybody learned how to dodge it and predict it, because we weren't really calling about it in the second game at all.
Pretty much.
They didn't have much sustainment.
The only time I remember a call was Wolf saying to spread out, watch the Joanna shield in the second game.
Because that's honestly all they had. That was the only reason we lost like 2 major team fights, and they got some push on us because of the shield bash and the follow-up with the Ring of Frost. Once they missed the Ring of Frost, it was easy just to kind of tear them apart a little bit, because they couldn't really peel me off them. They couldn't peel Skills off them if I'm on top of them. That's why whenever Brightwing came in, she was easy taunt bait.
It's kind of funny how sometimes they try to kill me.
Sorry, I don't know voices to characters. Sorry, nope. Who were you in that match?
Oh, I was Varian. Sorry.
Oh, okay, you're Lone Wolf. Got it.
Yeah, Timberlake Wolf.
Sorry, sometimes if the names are different in Discord as opposed to match, I'll go, yeah, sure. And I'm like looking like, who the hell are you?
No,
Is he in the game? What's going
It's
on?
cringe. It's cringe, to be honest.
It
He's
was
just
a
some
little
random
worrying.
hobo.
It was a little worrying seeing because we don't see Nate play Murky a lot, or at least not on NCS. So if we're like practicing like QM, that's one thing. But if we're going to at least a top 8 game at this point, it's questionable
I
just
don't
because
know.
we don't see it a lot.
Well, and I don't remember if Wolf has seen it a lot. Like I know that I've seen it a few
once or
times.
twice.
It's been well
Seen
over
it
a month
multiple times.
since he played it.
I think it's the fact alone that throughout the entire NCS series at this point, we've been rolling the double front line with the Bruiser off lane and the tank with the rest of the group. So having the Murky switch is just... It's a 50-50 how it's going to go. If Nate can pull it off, and that's great, and he did. But then when they had Rocka fall out and they had this new guy come in, and then he took Hogger immediately, I'm like, alright, they might be getting serious with this substitute or whatever, I don't know. So it was a little questionable, because Hogger already is pretty OP as a character with Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Well, they just like gave us Hog, Neville like nerfed him and just left.
Well, the nice thing about Murky too is that on that map you can put your egg in certain places, and then you can get between lanes and proxy. It really plays well for him. There's so many bushes, and so if you counter somebody, as long as there aren't 2 auto attackers, Murky will still work even if there's a Hogger, because you can always just go to another lane and throw down the pufferfish there.
Well, you can just constantly put pressure on people like at all times. Like Hogger had to respond to you at all times.
Yeah.
He was never with them.
I do have to mention that for Hogger, I liked not the Hogger. Yeah, with the Hogger, I liked your patience with the taunts and bearing, because after a few first times you just taunted and immediately escaped. But after a moment, I did see where you were starting to pause a bit and then taunting once he started the animation. Was that very much as specific that was what you were wanting to do, or was it just it happened to work out that way?
Well, if I do it immediately, I'm hoping he's kind of just like really far from their group or from whatever they're doing, and hopefully we can just follow him up and kill him really quickly within 1.25 seconds of the taunt silence. But if you got away, that would just be on me. Considering we have Joe with the follow-up laps, and if we have the fear with skills as Gul'dan. But I think top lane he got away just because I don't think I taunted quick enough to stop his mid spin. But I think 2 other times I interrupted it, because I think that last fight I think I interrupted it out of him. But I think he dropped pretty quick.
Man, I loved when the Brightwing would go in and try to help him, because I would time my roots for that.
It's like, hey, you got a second.
I think we actually did manage to get him once that way. Almost, I don't know.
He was playing really hesitantly too. It's if you have a full line, I mean, we have skills, and that was also questionable considering we had the Murky and they took the Hogger. We didn't have much range other than Wagon. So, and considering we had skills and Nate at last pick, I was telling skills like, are you comfortable with the carry? Because they might be with this new substitute. I don't know if they're going to be trying to counter what they're probably assuming the carry's going to come back, so they might counter you. So him switching to Gul'dan was probably the best play. Consider we have more camp control. We have him and Wagon poking at this point, and if they have nobody other than the Hogger going in there, and I can taunt him out of his interrupt, he's kind of gonna die really quick unless the Brightwing wants to teleport on him.
Basically, what he's saying is he doesn't trust me.
Right on.
Pretty much.
And
Yeah.
were you guys kind of
Likewise,
concerned? Were you guys concerned at any point that they were in the early game that we were going to swap down Hogger into the lane with Murky and Jaina up top, or was it not really an issue for you
I
guys?
didn't really think about that. I was just, they're like, hey, stay top. I'm like, got it. And that was pretty much it from there, really.
I was thinking that I don't think we could definitely go gank with our comp, because with them having Hogger and Johanna and Greymane, they were definitely wanting to gank a lot more, especially with Polymorph as well. So we probably just had skills stay up top, soak, and just keep sieging it a bit. And same thing with Nate kind of just doing his own thing, and me, Joe, and Wagon kind of grabbing camps here and there and just kind of rolling around. But considering we had more poke, we could definitely safely siege while me being frontline. I could stop any advances they try to get back there. But I don't think we really wanted to fight that much because we already had that much lane potential that we didn't really have to be so aggressive as they had to.
I think I had to pull us that much in the second match. Like, my pull was almost always on cooldown in the first match, but I don't remember having to pull people very often in the second.
I don't recall either. And kind of a last major question I want to ask is, it was relatively even for a bit on that second map, but I think the major kind of point for you guys was, you're in mid, there's kind of that fight, that awkward fight basically just after you got the gates down, that plant tier where you managed to find both the DPS after the light bomb had hit them, the horrified light bomb hit them both. What was your kind of head process at that point? Were you guys careful,
was that
being careful?
That the one where the bombs finished off Joanna?
Oh, I loved that.
I can't recall.
Oh, no, that was at the bottom lane. That was at the bottom lane. I think this was right before that.
Yeah.
Like in the mid lane.
Potentially.
You remember what level that was? Was that right after 10 or before 10?
This was more around like 17, 16 area.
Oh.
Was this after we got the seed and got the objective and we stole Bruiser and we killed the Hogger? Or was this...
You're asking way too much of me.
We killed the Hogger. We killed the Hogger right after 10 because I remember I went Murlocs.
You said
and I went up there and I saw him and I hit the Murloc. So
yeah, I'm mentioning the mid fight though on the keeps after Plant Terror.
I wasn't there probably.
What level was that? You said 16?
I believe around 16s for you guys.
Okay. And this is second map?
Yes. I could be wrong.
Was this was this when we were like split, where we had 2 people bot and or 3 people bot and 2 people mid?
Nope, I feel like this is gonna go nowhere if we keep doing this guessing game.
Sorry,
yeah, no worries, guys. So now that we're end of it, any kind of do you know who your opponent is for next week? Has the other match happened yet?
Not a clue.
I just got a message from XYXGY. I don't know who that is. I gotta look it up. Oh, FF and the Pancakes. That's who we're playing next.
There you go. How are you guys feeling ahead of that?
I don't honestly. Well, I guess I'll just be there when I'm there. Like
exactly. I just hop on and out. I know it pings me.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
We gotta respect their team. Yeah, we gotta respect every team that's in the playoffs. So.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll do our diligence on it, and hopefully we get some of our carry characters, or maybe we'll see another Murky. Who knows?
I mean, who knows
indeed. You know. Yep. So, any last messages from you guys? Any thanks or anything like that? The floor is yours.
They did alright.
Yeah, we did good. I want to say the Junkrat was great.
Fine.
First game, top damage, 4 kills, no deaths.
Oh,
that was a tough game too.
Second game, we had Skills and I had no damage. They just weren't fighting us.
Oh yeah, we did 36k. That's all I did.
Like combined, we ended up getting like 40k damage.
I'd say give it to Joe for some defensive callouts and plays on the first map, a little bit more guidance for like map awareness. And
yeah, give it to Joe for questioning our shot caller.
It was appropriate.
Greatly.
It was appropriate. It was all good.
We'll have Joe shot call for the next one.
Okay.
And then,
we may have success now.
Jesus, man. Hold on, man. I do like your calls.
Yeah, we may have success now.
If we lose, we just yell at Joe.
Hey, I learned from the best.
Same thing to Nate on the second map for the lane pressure, because I think the Murky was really giving them absolute hell. They had no response to it. They had the full team comp play to try to deal with the Jaina and Johanna ult, but when they had to deal with the Murky, they were like, well, we're wasting everything here. How do we deal with that?
Yeah, I'll give it to Nate for the full confidence with the Murky, because that was the main question. Like in draft, Wolf was really not sure, and I'm just like, are you confident? And Nate's like,
it was me. It was all me just saying, like, we gotta do it. I got a Murky. You gotta let me Murky. It's
I wasn't skeptical.
I wasn't against it. I was just like, it was just questioning.
Oh yes,
he was just concerned.
Right. Okay, guys, it's been great talking to you. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your evening, and I wish you guys luck for your next round.
Thanks for streaming live, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one all. Right, now that chaos is over. It was indeed a 2-0 over the side of Infernal Misfits. The first map, very competitive, could have actually gone either way for a lot of the map. There were I think it was all the way up to 20s even. There were still even fights where 3 people would go down per side. Oh, yeah, 2 people went down per side around that boss. And yet, it just barely went in favor of Infernal Misfits. Meanwhile, that second map, 36 to Mosh did start out pretty strongly, but they didn't really seem to have an... Because of this kind of team-fighting nature of their composition, they don't really have too much that could deal with the splitting Murky. They did do well with it, but they had just committed a little bit too many people to it. So, both teams have some good takeaways here. Infernal Misfits, I know they are the top seed and were expected to win, but I still think very well played by 36 and Mosh. They play their hearts out, and I'm sure that next season they will probably want to be looking for vengeance on anything Murloc related, as I think they are fans of sushi in general. But that will be it for me this evening. I have been your host, The Lime Bus. It's been a blast to cast this match. I am going to lie down after this because I'm still feeling a bit like bleh, sickish, which is the reason why I'm home today. But to everyone in chat, I wish you, well, I have to say thank you to everyone who ended up being subscribed. Well, particularly thank you to Raka and the Captain for gifting subs to the community. It's greatly appreciated, and I didn't think I'd get as flustered as I did then, and I'm going to absolutely message you guys like, God damn, that somehow threw me off. But I've been your host, V-Line Bus. I wish everyone a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. And I accidentally started music, but I'll see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye, at least, for now.